Today we are going to discuss about the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex deficiency. So first of all, before starting this pyruvate dehydrogenase deficiency complex topic, I want you to know the pyruvate dehydrogenase and the various regulation of the pyruvate dehydrogenase. If you haven't read that, and if you haven't seen my previous video, I want you to study the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex and its regulation, and I want you to see and learn the previous video I have made about the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex and its regulation. I'll discuss in brief. From the glycolysis, we obtain a molecule pyruvate, and upon the action of the pyruvate dehydrogenase, the pyruvate is converted to acetyl coenzyme A, and this acetyl coenzyme A is participating in the Krebs cycle under the influence of the oxaloacetate. From the oxaloacetate and acetyl coenzyme A, with the action of citrate synthesis, the citrate is formed and the Krebs cycle is commenced. And from the pyruvate also, if there is anaerobic metabolism, then lactate is produced. So what happens if there is deficiency of pyruvate dehydrogenase complex? If there is deficiency of the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex, then the pyruvate will not be metabolized to acetyl coenzyme A, and there will be the buildup of pyruvate because pyruvate will not be utilized, and those buildup of pyruvate molecule will get shunted to the lactate via the lactate dehydrogenase enzyme. So if there is buildup of the pyruvate, and the enzyme lactate dehydrogenase will action upon it, the pyruvate dehydrogenase upon the action of the pyruvate dehydrogenase, and there will be the formation of the lactate. So this pyruvate dehydrogenase complex deficiency in the X-linked disorder. And what are the various findings in the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex deficiency? The various findings are neurological deficits, lactic acidosis, is there is more production of the lactate from the pyruvate. If there is absence of pyruvate dehydrogenase, then lactate dehydrogenase would act upon the pyruvate to convert the pyruvate to lactate. So there will be the lactic acidosis because there is more production of the lactate. And in the early infancy, we see the increased serum alanine. This is the earliest findings if there is deficiency of the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex in the infancy. So what is the main treatment of the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex deficiency? We should encourage to take the ketogenic nutrients. We should increase the intake of ketogenic nutrients in the person having pyruvate dehydrogenase complex deficiency. For example, high fat contents or increased lysine and leucine nutrients we should take. So this is the brief explanation of the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex deficiency and what are the findings and treatments. Now let us discuss about the pyruvate metabolism. The pyruvate is metabolized in the 4 ways. First, upon the action of the alanine transferase, it is converted into alanine in the cytosol. I am talking about the cytosol. In the cytosol, what are the various metabolism that occurs of the pyruvate? The pyruvate is converted to alanine by the action of the alanine aminotransferase, and with the action of the lactate dehydrogenase, it is converted to lactate. It is also called Cori cycle. The Cori cycle is the synthesis of glucose from the lactate. After the formation of the lactate from the pyruvate, the glucose can be synthesis. It is known as the Cori cycle. And the synthesis of the pyruvate from the alanine is brought about by the alanine aminotransferase. These two reactions occurs in the cytosol, and the two metabolism that occurs in the mitochondria are the conversion of the pyruvate to oxaloacetate. So the conversion of the pyruvate to oxaloacetate is brought about by the pyruvate carboxylase upon the action of CO2 and ATP. So it is converted to oxaloacetate, and another is it is converted to acetyl coenzyme upon the action of pyruvate dehydrogenase. So this upon the action of the pyruvate dehydrogenase on the pyruvate on the mitochondria, it is converted to acetyl coenzyme, and this acetyl coenzyme participates in the Krebs cycle. So this goes to the Krebs cycle in the mitochondria. So this is the main pyruvate metabolism that you should know. So what happens is that first the pyruvate is converted to alaline in the cytosol upon the action of alaline aminotransferase. The alaline carries the amino group to the liver from the muscle. That is the main importance of the metabolism. And another is that the pyruvate is converted to lactate. The pyruvate is converted to lactate by the action of lactate dehydrogenase. So it is the end of the anaerobic glycolysis. That is the major pathway in the RBC, WBC, kidney, medulla, lens, testis and cornea that which do not have the mitochondria. The pyruvate is converted to lactate by the action of the lactate dehydrogenase. So it is mainly occurring in the RBC, WBC, kidney, medulla, lens, testis and cornea. It is the one of the important thing that you should know. And then there is conversion of the pyruvate to the oxaloacetate. The oxaloacetate can replenish TCA cycle or can be used in the gluconeogenesis, that you should know. And another is the pyruvate dehydrogenase, the action of pyruvate dehydrogenase. It is a transition from glycolysis to the TCA cycle that we are going to discuss in the next video. The TCA cycle that occurs is from mainly this reaction, the conversion of the pyruvate to acetyl coenzyme by the action of the pyruvate dehydrogenase. So these are the four metabolism of the pyruvate that you should know and that you should remember. We discuss in the today's video, we discuss about the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex deficiency, its finding and its treatment, and we also discuss in brief about the pyruvate metabolism. I hope you understood this lecture. Thank you.